Randy?
Yes.
Bo?
Here.
Kay?
Yes.
Jack?
Here.
Okay.
Okay, we have a quorum. Third agenda item, number 3, approval of minutes of March 9th, 2021. You guys were sent that, and also you have copies in front of you. Are there any questions or corrections that anybody can see?
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 9th. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Matt?
Yes.
Kay?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Randy?
Abstain.
Jack?
Aye.
Okay. On to number 4, approval of financials to date. Again, it was sent to you and you have in your packet profit and loss, and you also have a balance sheet. Neil, anything that you want to address or?
No, actually, right now, we're in really good shape with the income and expenses, so.
Neil, I just have one question.
Yep.
On the travel expenses, meals, is that turkey hunt or what is all?
That's it, everyday travel, and
Okay,
if you'll look on the budget, we have, I think, 20,000 set aside for travel and stuff. And we're well below that amount. That travel also includes any conferences or anything like that you go to, state events.
right.
And so, because we haven't traveled much, there's not been a lot of expense there.
Any other questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the financial as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second to approve the financials to date. Any other questions? Neil, roll call?
Bo?
Yes.
Kay?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 5. This is the approval of contract with Northwest Technology Center. We've got the memorandum of understanding here, and this is our typical yearly agreement that we do, that we end up paying Northwest Tech, the flat rate, which goes into the 12 monthly payments. That goes for Neil's position. Any questions about the agreement?
There's no change from last year.
No change from, so it's still the 44,718, and then 12 monthly payments of $3,726.
I can't remember if that's includes, there was always something about health insurance or.
It provides, the Northwest, their agreement is they provide the following goods, and that's part of it on number 6. Any other questions? If not, I would take a motion to approve the contract for Northwest Technology Center.
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second? Thank you, Jack. I have a motion and a second to approve the contract with Northwest Technology Center. Roll call?
Matt?
Yes.
Kay?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is approved. Good timing, Susan. On number 6, item agenda 6, we have the reappointments of Kay Decker and Susan Bradford for their second 3-year term per our bylaws. I'm assuming that both have agreed to serve again since they are on the agenda. If not, need to speak or hold your peace, I guess. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pass the reappointment of Kay Decker and Susan Bradford.
I'll second that.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to reappoint Kay Decker and Susan Bradford to their second three-year term. Any other questions? Neil, roll call?
Jack,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
And we thank both of you for agreeing to serve another three-year term. Before number 7, Matt has decided not to go to another three-year term, but we want to thank him for his service to Woods County Economic Development. He's done a great job for us, and hopefully I'm sure we can call him at any time to help us out, but appreciate everything you do. Item agenda 7, though, is the approval of the appointment of Kel Leeper to a 3-year term to seat vacated by Matt Tucker. Do I have a motion?
Okay.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for the approval of the appointment of Kel Leeper to a 3-year term to the seat vacated by Matt Tucker. Roll call?
Jack,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
All right, Kel, congratulations and welcome to the group.
Looking forward to it.
Number 8, update and discuss goals, objectives for FY22, which begins September 1st, 2021. We can do this a couple different ways. I know last time I basically sent out an email asking for everybody's input, and then we can kind of put some things together that have similarities and vote on it the next time, or we can hash it out today if you wish. You have the formal ones in front of you. Any thoughts or recommendations of how you want to do that?
Mr. Chairman, suggestion, I would like to see us hash that, send an email, and then approve it at the next board meeting.
Okay?
I agree with that.
Yep. I think basically if I'll get Neil, we'll just kind of resend this page again. And I think obviously there's some things that we need to continue to work on, but then there's also some things I think we can add to it.
Maybe have some reportables and measurables built in that we can then be able to say, okay, we've accomplished this, or we,
And I think there are some things on there that we can, that we'll have accomplished once we get, especially the website completely
Right.
Finished. Real quick on the director expectations, do you see anything changing with expectations of what we had started last year about attending the council meetings and, chamber events, obviously communicating with us, and then representing Woods County, any kind of professional development? I mean, do you think those should stay on there, I guess? And we can add some if we need to, obviously.
yeah, those need to stay on there.
Okay.
And there may be,
Yep, we'll send those out as well.
yeah,
Do we need a vote as far as waiting till next meeting?
Just says update and discuss.
Okay.
Didn't say anything about voting to approve, so
Okay.
we can table. I mean, if somebody wants to make a motion to table till the next.
I move that we formalize the goals and objectives at the September meeting. Is it September? Is
Yes.
that our next time?
Yeah.
Okay. So between now and then, discussion and formalizing all of that.
Bring something to the table.
I
Yeah,
second that.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to formalize a plan for our Economic Development Director for his objectives and goals for FY22. Any discussion or other questions? Roll call?
Jack,
Yes.
Kay,
yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, on 9 and 10, obviously, I think we need to have our objectives before we can discuss any new budgetary needs or staff needs. Those are discussions only on those, so if anybody doesn't, or if anybody else has anything to add on 9 and 10.
Do you need a motion?
No, just as a discussion.
Okay.
Hearing no discussion, since we don't have our goals and objectives, we'll move to item number 11, which is the reorganization of the board and election of officers. So this year we'll have, and again, I think chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer.
Yeah, together, yeah.
And those two were together? Okay. So how, in the past, we do it all at once or go one
You go.
individual?
I just moved, they stay the same.
There's a
Who
motion.
are the officers besides Bo? I can't remember.
You and Randy.
Randy's
Oh, hell, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're.
Randy's vice chair.
You're vice chair.
I
You're
knew I
secretary.
Treasurer.
did
Secretary.
something, but I wasn't sure what.
So I have a motion on the table to,
second that motion.
and I have a second. Any other discussion?
Checks, Jack.
Anybody else want to check with anybody else, or? Okay, hearing none. We have a motion to keep the board, or officers the same as last year. Roll call?
Bo,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Scott, Kale.
Yes.
All right. What do you think about that, Randy, before you make the?
Okay.
Okay.
It's okay, but I'm vice chairman, that's the place to be, so you don't have to do anything.
I'm gonna start telling you to come sign checks.
All right, number 12. Need a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to 25 OS 307B1 for the purpose of discussing employment evaluation of Neil Williams. Do I have a motion to enter into?
So moved at 12:12 PM.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to enter into executive session. Roll call?
Kale,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Kay.
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second to return to public session. Neil, roll call?
Kale,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Kay.
Yes.
Okay, item number 14, executive session minutes compliance report. We started at 12:12, exited 12:22, and the matter was the employment evaluation of Neil Williams. No other items were discussed. I'm just going to sign that and date that real quick. Okay. Agenda item 15, discussion and possible action regarding matters discussed in executive session pertaining to the employment evaluation of Neil Williams.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we rehire Neil Williams for the upcoming 21-22 year.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to rehire Neil Williams as our director for Woods County Economic Development. Any other questions, discussion? Neil, roll call?
Kay,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Kale.
Yes.
Okay, congratulations, Neil. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to moving on to hopefully a little more normal year next
Yes.
year. All right, agenda item 16, WCIDA update, Neil.
There wasn't much to report on there. We still have a each bidder in Winoka that's available for rent. The one out here is rented. Trying to think. And that's going to be pretty much the report on the authority.
Melissa Fisher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got a new member. Melissa Fisher is now a board member of the
Industrial.
authority, yeah.
But that's a good choice.
Yeah, it needed some diversity.
Have there been even any inquiries about the building in Winoka?
I haven't heard of any.
You haven't? Okay.
So, if anybody knows of anybody that can use that,
What's our advertising mechanism for that?
word of mouth and sign and,
Do we have a sign out on the highway?
There is a sign in there.
Okay.
Well, that's surely one of those things we'll be able to put on our website, correct?
yes. I mean, once we get it made, we could put all vacant buildings, on that, which gives us more control over the stuff locally. So, which will be really, really good.
How close are we, Neil?
When I talked to him the day before our scheduled meeting, they were getting close. He sent a deal for me to fill out. I'm putting all of the utilities on a map at Avard. And then I had to fill out a bunch of stuff, which I asked OG&E to send us workforce information in a 75-mile radius. And ONG, which is gas, I asked Marty Euler for all the information on gas for the park. Of course, Avard, we're working on grants and things like that to do update the infrastructure there. And they're also going to help recruit. And we have, I don't know, you may know if there's other buildings in that area that Mock used to have, or any of those vacant. I was thinking there was somebody in all of them.
I think they're occupied right now, but I don't know about the status of the drilling building in the back. I'll check on that and let you know
Okay.
if there's anything available there.
Oil prices are going up, so we may see some activity. I don't know, it won't ever be in Arbuckle, at least what we had, but those are the things.
I think if we get natural gas prices up, we'll definitely see some more.
Yeah. So I know Mock has bought a bunch of stuff and they plugged a bunch, so. And that's about the extent of what's going on with them.
Okay, item 17 on the agenda is the Northwest Oklahoma, which you obviously know it's been slow. Have they announced any other meetings coming up or anything?
Yes, I believe the 27th. And let me see if I can,
Of June?
of June, I think. But it may be July. I'm
It's
trying.
July if it's the 27th, because that's a Sunday in June.
In June, okay. There's Noah's having a small business, small home deal in Woodward. Let me see if I can locate.
If you'll send that information out to us, that would be great.
Okay. I'll find it and send it out because I think that would be, and it's in Woodward, which would be a great, time It's not that far, easy to get to, and I think we'll learn a lot. But anyway, I know they're starting to have some public stuff again, so
All right.
Their attitude's probably not very good there.
Oh,
Yeah, tough,
like Fort Supply Club.
tough news, yeah.
Not for me.
Item 18, just your executive director report for Economic Development Committee.
okay. Still working with the same company on broadband. We're gonna have to find a different place to put the antennas. So, and he said he'd come. I talked to one that Randy had to put a tower on his, and I actually connected them with another guy to put a tower up north of town. And so they may be able to even get our home. They say they can, but I'm not holding out a whole lot of hope yet. So working with those two groups, and then Kay just gave me one that I'll call. And I mean, if there's 100 of them here, I don't care, as long as the county gets covered.
Dr. Hunford may know more about the one that I gave it to, so
Okay.
the company that did the Wi-Fi or whatever in the dorms.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The company from Oregon, I'm about 80% sure we'll end up getting them at some point. We're up.
What is that?
That's the greenhouse. We're competing against Kansas, and by the time we got through showing them the comparison between the taxes in Kansas and Oklahoma and, housing and all that, kind of ruled out Kansas. Now he's looking at something in Tennessee, which is further east than he wanted. But I think he's busy for the next month on a project that he was going to do, which is going to help finance the move. So I basically have left him alone. Grow houses, as you know, have been big. I've been contacted by several groups like that, and connected some companies in Woods County that manufacture parts with the supply chain. Commerce has now a supply chain website where if you use any kind of parts or anything for your business, you get on there and you can connect with all these Oklahoma companies, and they may be able to supply whatever part you've been looking for. And it's been really good. It's one of the things I think I think it's outstanding that they have done that. Turned in 4 RFIs. A whole lot of them that I've gotten, we're not big enough to compete for, because I don't think we can employ 3,800 people, or, I think in time we may be able to submit for those. But the website, talk to them probably every other day, trying to come up with information for them. And they've got the website, basically all the categories and all the pages, and now they're just putting content. And so I talked to them and Bo, and at some time in the near future, we'll do a Zoom meeting with them, and they can show us what they've got done, and then that way we can all comment on any content changes, anything else we can think of that needs to be on there. So hopefully that happens in the next couple of weeks. Been working with the county and city officials on different projects. Worked with 3 different individuals that were looking to start their own business. the Alva Arena project, we usually have a call every week with SBA and the loan company. And what the problem is right now is a bid that you get from a supplier of whether it's metal, wood, whatever, is only good for 2 weeks. Well, I mean, my gosh, you can't get nothing done in 2 weeks. So we're having issues there.
Everybody
The,
is.
yeah, so got to figure a way to overcome some of that because the price has gone up considerably. The city of Alva has formed an economic development committee, and they've asked me to attend those meetings, which we've had one, and I was there. Another deal that's come up was Red Horse Lake. I've been asked to kind of look into that again. So I'm going through the archives, trying to find, stuff that they've already done on that project and see if it's viable.
I wouldn't waste much time.
I wouldn't either. The hydrogeology studies that were done back in the 80s
Said no.
on that said it's not going to,
Hold
that's,
water.
that's porous. It's chip.
Yeah.
It's not going to hold water. And then you also might be looking at some downstream issues, which they never really got into all of that. Once the hydrogeology studies were done, it was pretty much a no-go.
I'm working with the utility companies because for every RFP I send out, we're going to have excess capacity, whether it's in Winoka, Alva, or Avard. So I'm trying to get them to get me all that information. OG&E, I don't have any problem with them. I don't have any problem with AEC. The gas has been a challenge, and rural water, and just like Alva knowing exactly what the capacity is, are things that some of it's going to be an estimate. So we're just going to have to go with that. There is a contract on one of the lots in Alva. It has not been accepted, but if they ever get past that, we'll probably have another retail business in town. And at this time, I can't say what or who or any of that until they get everything worked out. Let's see, Workforce for Excellence. The Tech Center and Northwestern are working to get us set up where we can have one here. So I've been trying to do what I could do on that. So those are the things that are coming down the pike, and that's going to be important for our area in the future. They've given them some things that they can do that grant-wise and otherwise that we want in our corner when the time comes. And that's kind of what I've been working on since we met last. So a lot of it's the same. I would love to have one of the projects come through. So
What do you know is the status of the small business development centers? Because at one time,
they were working on that.
yeah,
I'm not sure where that's at this point. Darren has not said anything to me about it. Bo, do you have any idea on it?
Oh, I know a lot of people are coming out here if they've got questions,
Yeah.
but, it was, you know how long ago it was taken out of
yeah,
Northwestern's campus.
right.
So it's not dead, I'll just say that. I don't
We
know.
need somebody who can sit down and work with a prospective business on business plan developments and licensing and permitting and all of that.
One of the individuals that I work with, I sent to REI. They did get a loan through REI, so that was good. But anybody have any questions?
The only thing I don't know, I was at a meeting the other day and this medical marijuana deal, I think they've did some legislative issues with that.
Yes.
Need to find out what all of those are,
Yeah.
so we're aware of those. And it's pretty important to this board. I'd like to know where all the tax money's going.
From the marijuana sales?
The dispensaries.
Well, and what about I know that the legislature is supposed to be looking into the whole ad valorem protest situation and what that's doing to the schools and county government. Yesterday, or what is today, Monday? Yeah, yesterday, on the Sunday morning legislative wrap up on Channel 9. They do that every Sunday morning. That was one of the issues they talked about. And, out here, the public schools and the county governments are so dependent on their own money. And then when that money is protested year after year after year, that's a problem. And whatever we need to do as a population to make something happen so that these companies cannot continue to do that year after year. I would like for us to come out as a region and demand legislation be addressed to fix that problem. In other parts of the state, they get money for education from the State Department. We don't. So it's a problem. And it seems like it's getting worse.
Why is that so? Okay.
Why is what so?
You said they got money for education in other areas of the state, but not here. What prompts that? What?
They're on the formula.
Okay.
And there's two really big areas. Gross production. A few years ago, they increased the gross production tax on the horizontal wells from 2% to 4%.
Yes.
Okay. They took the entire 2%, they increased it, and put it in the general fund to go to education, and they shorted our schools. Our gross production at the county level and for the schools should have doubled. That's what we use for road and bridge money.
Right.
We get the exact same amount.
Is that because of the sparsity factor? Is that
No,
why?
it's because they're a bunch of crooks. They changed the equation. No, I'm serious.
Well,
And I jumped
understand.
them.
I understand.
I jumped them, but the thing, it's not bad enough that they took away from road and bridges with that additional 2%. Our gross production should have doubled, but it took a huge amount away from education here because they did the same to them as they did to county. And they put the entire 2% increase into the general fund and didn't tell anybody that they did it. That was done behind closed doors when we all thought the schools thought that their gross production would double. We thought ours would double at the county level for roads and bridges. It didn't. And come find out they rat-holed all of it and gave it to general education, that are schools that are on the formula.
And that's just one piece of the conversation.
Okay.
The other piece is the fact that, the State Department says, okay, we believe it costs $5,000 a year to educate a kid. Well, in Northwest Oklahoma, we have enough ad valorem to meet that and oftentimes go above it. In other parts of the state, they supposedly do not. And so we basically are self-funded.
We're off the formula.
Right. And when companies protest their ad valorem, then we
Yeah,
are,
I understand that.
So-
Well, and then what you don't understand though is the wind farm we got here in Woods County,
I understand.
that is centrally assessed,
Right,
because it's a public utility.
right.
So, and they have 3 people that work on that at the Oklahoma Tax Commission, and those records are all confidential. We have no way of finding out what PSO is gonna pay in ad valorem tax, they just pay what they want.
How do you formalize a complaint on something like getting on a formulary or whatever? What do you do?
Well, that deal was legislative, that was a deal done, those public utility companies.
No, I'm talking about on the education. I mean,
Well, this is what well, it's if the ad valorem was enough, but they have so many, the population's so great in those, like Oklahoma County, Cleveland County, those big high populated, they're all on the formula.
Jack, do you think if all of the superintendents of the districts in northwest and western Oklahoma that basically receive no state money could come together and I think that's what it's gonna take.
I'm sure they're already doing it. I mean, I think they're already protesting the last they're already trying to find those out. I mean, I've talked to some of those superintendents when, coming out of my last position and understanding that they have already tried to dictate it. It's a lot like Randy. They're not getting an answer because of, I guess if you want to call it sparsity area, what you have out here, and we just don't have enough. We don't have enough to play population-wise or number-wise of schools, but,
And part of the deal is we just had to give back, return right at $1 million for 2018, 19, and 20 here in Woods County. That the schools that's been laying down there in
An escrow.
escrow, you might as well call it, they weren't supposed to encumber it, but we had to pay it back to Mock. And see, there's a big discrepancy on that, whether that oil field equipment is taxed ad valorem wise, locally assessed, or is part of gross production. And it's my understanding that, and that deal went all the way to Supreme Court here in Oklahoma, and the judge ruled in their favor. But Renetta tells me others, they go and the judge will rule on behalf, I mean, if it's not ad valorem, in other words, they're getting off tax-free on that stuff.
Might be a deal where we need to look at getting our group together at the next community coffee with the legislators and at least start with our own and find out maybe what, like you said, Kel, what we can do, so. Any other questions for Neil on his report?
I did look into the McDonald's deal. Also, the chamber's looking into that also, so.
What'd you find out?
I found out that the guy that I was going to didn't have the phone number, he had the address. So as soon as I get the phone number, I'm gonna call him, just basically offer our assistance as far as training or job fair or, something. So,
I think the biggest thing, the $300 extra deal ends in Oklahoma Saturday, so, for unemployment.
yeah.
Well, somebody explain to me this, they're getting this new electric vehicle deal at Pryor, and the state has offered them a lot of things, and it's not, I mean, why can we not get state assistance to bring something here?
we probably could. One of the biggest things you fight at Pryor is you also have Google setting in Pryor, so that's.
I know, but
mean,
they've helped them
I know, and that's probably-
statewide, I mean, why do we not get state help?
Oh, we should. And probably again, numbers.
There's
You even
no-
talk about the school system, you double eastern side. of the
Yeah,
state.
I mean, I realize it's population and what have you, but I don't understand.
There was another big announcement at Pryor where Mid-America got a big company coming in, a car manufacturing, so,
That's it,
Yeah.
the electric cars.
yep.
That's what I'm talking about. And the state subsidizes them in some way, I don't know how, to get them there.
You're right.
It's
Substantial.
out of the closing fund, I'm sure, the governor's closing fund, and, we asked for that assistance on another project, and we're told that it didn't qualify, so I don't know how they pick and choose.
We just need a governor from Western Oklahoma.
There you go, Jack.
Come on, Jack. Let's go.
For what?
Okay, nothing else to do, do you? All right, number 19 you can see was marked out new business because of the special agenda. We can't do that, so item 20. Any other announcements, Neil?
No.
Any other announcement from committee members? All right, hearing none, I will take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for adjournment. Neil, roll call.
Cale,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.